All right, this route right here should take us straight to the volcano. Might get a little bumpy, though.
Let's get the show on the road.
Hello, Martin Robinson. How's it going?
It's going really well. Hello, how are you?
I'm all right. We recently played Uncharted 4.
Get us.
Yeah. Not in the same session. I came after you, but there's a car in it now.
That's why I went. That's the only reason I went to go and play, 'cause it's got cars in it. Someone told me it's got cars in it, and I thought, oh, this sounds good.
See, normally cars would put me off, but it's also a super drifty car, which kind of worked in my favour. That kept me entertained.
It's very drifty. It's oh god, I can't believe I can't believe I'm actually starting this by talking about the cars. But the car bit was really, really good though, because it's basically it's like a Jeep, and you're going around the Madagascar plains, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, which are muddy, and so you've got to drift around this big open space, trying to get purchase on the ground and everything, and following. Like truck tracks around and everything, and so there's like a light element of kind of the Uncharted puzzly stuff in it as you kind of look to where you can get purchase on your truck, and there's also that kind of spectacular scene setting stuff as well, and it ties in some of the kind of funny quips from the people you're driving with. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a very new thing to Uncharted. And it felt very Uncharted.
Yeah, it felt like a bit of a weird bit of the game to demo, if I'm perfectly honest. When I first leapt in, I was like, why are they showing this off? And I think it is just a declaration of intent in terms of how they're going to go for these sort of wider, more open areas. And I think for the most part it worked. You know, I kind of enjoyed... I played the demo through a few times. I was enjoying, you know, exploring the different paths to the same elements of the level. And if anything, it proved again that Naughty Dog is really good at queuing up sound cues and conversation and stuff. So the kind of the witty banter, to use an odious term, worked really well. Even though you were kind of, you know, I was just drifting around corners and then getting out the Jeep and abandoning Sully and
Bants of the Year, I think.
What's his face? Yeah. Bants of the Year. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. But one of the intriguing things was you then got to this big open space, and they were very keen for you to approach it however you wanted in terms of the combat, and they've thrown in all sorts of Far Cry stealthy trappings. How did that go over with you?
It went down okay. I did find it interesting in terms of the open world stuff. This is something someone else spotted and pointed out to me, and so I'm completely stealing what he told me. But at one point early in the demo, you come across a boulder, and so you go left or right at this boulder, and then you can follow either path, and it basically just loops round to the same place, which kind of tells you a lot about what this kind of Naughty Dog's kind of open-ended thing is. A lot of it is just lip service to this kind of open-ended thing. Yeah. But the actual combat itself was very much more truly open-ended, and it's a little bit Metal Gear Solid, basically. Mm-hmm. You're in long grass, and you've got alert states on guards and stuff. It's obviously a little bit Far Cry as well, because you're marking enemies and basically taking them down one by one. And it's a little bit clumsy as well, I think.
Yeah, that's certainly the impression I got. I mean, I was sneaking around and trying to tag everyone up and really set myself up for a decent kind of stealth run at it. But as soon as you get spotted by one guy, it just turns into your standard Uncharted, hide behind a wall, pop out and shoot guys kind of fare. I don't. Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I think Uncharted combat has always been a bit scrappy because it's meant to feel like you're only just staying alive by the skin of your teeth, right?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's part of it. I'm also just I don't think they're the most refined games mechanically.
Yeah.
In terms of the actual, when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of the shooting stuff. I don't think they've ever been like top of the class. Basically, they've been serviceable, and that's about it. That's what you can say for them.
To be honest, I found it much easier when I just decided to abandon sort of clever shooting and just ran around trying to punch people in the face as much as possible before I got discovered, and then it just it turned into the same experience we've had.
It doesn't help that because I haven't played Uncharted games since 3. I didn't play the collection, and I forgot how annoying the control system is. It's like, why do you have to have your own bespoke control system where like triangles reload, circles to go into cover and everything? It's like, I don't know any other game that works like this, and so I did spend a little bit too long trying to fumbling with its weirdly unique control system. But also, I had the same experience as you. I think basically I had the best intentions to do it, and then it kind of devolved into this just kind of really scrappy shootout where I was just getting killed a lot, and the AI would come in and help me every now and then, which was useful. Yeah. But I don't think it was what they had intended, basically, which is just to stumble through it. And obviously, we were thrown in. I think this is about halfway through the game, maybe 2/3 in, and we didn't have much by way of tutorial. So I imagine by the point you get to that, when you actually play it properly in the real finished thing, you will have acquired a lot of skills yourself, and you'll actually be more familiar with it, and you'll also know that triangle is reload and circle is going to cover, which I struggled with at first. But even then, it didn't feel as slick as say if you played a similar kind of thing in Metal Gear Solid 5 or something. That has a certain slickness to it, which I think kind of shines through, whereas I didn't feel that so much in this.
Sure. Well, I mean, Metal Gear Solid 5 is an incredibly polished stealth game, whereas I just don't see Uncharted as a stealth game at all. You know, it's a game with random flare-ups and flashpoints, but all in all, it's just happy-go-lucky, slightly clumsy cover shooting, really.
And the one thing I think was missing as well, because and again, this was I think because they showed this bit off because, as you said, they just want to show off and say, look, we are doing open-ended gaming. We didn't see the spectacle and the kind of amazing set pieces, which is what I think we play as Uncharted for.
Yeah,
and that's what I go to Uncharted for those kind of really big jaw-dropping moments, and that was pretty much absent, I think, from this demo.
I mean, I guess they did show that massive car chase with the E3 demo last year, but you preempted my question, in fact, which is, do you really think Uncharted is suited to this kind of more open playstyle? Because, to be honest, Uncharted for me has always been a super linear experience, and I've never minded that, because sometimes you do fancy a linear experience that's kind of crafted and cinematic in that way. And I think Naughty Dog is very good at pacing. So for them to suddenly be like, here's a sandbox and all these fun things you can play around with, I just found myself thinking, well, I don't care. Yeah. Very much. Yeah,
it's weird because they did with Last of Us, they kind of broadened their brief a little bit and did more of the kind of, it is very slim but workable like crafting system and everything as well. And I think that worked, but you still had the same fundamentals here. Here they're kind of going in a slightly different direction and doing more of that stealth stuff in there. And at the moment, again, I think it might have been not the best slice of it to see. First off, I don't think it worked so well. Really, it wasn't. It didn't feel as necessary, and I kind of missed just having a more linear shooter that there used to be. And it's like, just because you shouldn't just have stealth in there because that's what lots of other games do. But also, I just think it was probably maybe the wrong bit to show off, and they got their message across that they are doing more open-ended stuff.
Yeah.
And message received loud and clear.
But it hasn't left me overly excited.
Yeah, but let's see some of the stuff which I actually am excited about Uncharted for, which is the kind of the spectacular set pieces.
Yeah, it feels like a strange time, to be honest, at the end of the Drake's kind of story arc, the fourth game in, to suddenly go, and now he's learned how to be stealthy.
Yeah.
It's a funny old one. But
it's weird though. Did you ever play the Vita version? This is a bit of a tangent, but the Vita version was kind of awful because it's like what happens when you remove all the spectacular set pieces out of Uncharted.
Right.
And you get a very average game, which is hardly worth playing, sadly. And I kind of got that kind of sensation at the end of this one. But there's loads more to see, and I have faith that it's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
But same with you. This didn't leave me kind of massively enthused.
Yeah, it was a chin scratcher, but hopes are still relatively high for Uncharted 4. So well, thank you very much for talking to us. And you have a write-up on the site, I understand.
I hope so. Yeah.
In fact, some people may have come across this video as a result of the text article. If that is you, well done. If not, go read it. And learn more about Uncharted. Thanks very much, Nathan.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to ask the important question first.
Okay.
How do you feel about them making Nathan Drake's butt bigger for 4?
Make his butt bigger.
It's a little bit bigger.
It's a little bit. I'm not as interested in it being bigger as I am in it being a bit older.
Yeah, and wiser. Maybe that's where he stores all his wisdom.